Motion by John, seconded by Lena.
Yep.
Any further discussion? Hearing not, all in favor, opposed, unanimous, thank you.
We're out of that.
I've already given them to Lena, excuse me, to Karen.
Okay.
I believe I sent them down for signature.
We all set,
Okay.
sign them, yeah.
I need 3 prints of that. Paper prints. Ready, thanks. No,
Oh, you're good.
you're good.
Are you ready for your 81P?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take your 81P. Kevin, you want this back? So you know where the lot lines are?
Yeah, I'll get 3 more copies.
You can always use it as wallpaper.
Yeah. Never know.
Absolutely, thank you.
Short Street, right?
Short Street.
25 Short Street, yes.
Yep.
I believe this one probably came in front of us for a zoning variance, if I
Yeah,
recall
it did,
correctly.
yes.
I know you were granted the zoning variance, I'm assuming now you're creating 2 lots.
Correct.
Gee, what a memory.
I remember that.
Did you give the paperwork to Larry? You know me, all I care about is the money.
Hazen. H-A-Z-E.
I just need the paperwork, though, yep, thank you. Feel free.
Dan Hazen from Gary and Haldon. What we have is 2 lots. Granted a variance for,
I need the Mylar.
Short Street.
You're talking.
in February 8th, 2018, creating
Hi, Kevin.
2 lots. So 1 new lot.
I'll just hand one down to them, I'm sorry.
Just want to take a look at it. Yeah, thanks.
This one, basically what you're doing is you're leaving one on Short, creating one on Florence.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, all right, I know the area.
Yeah, remember they came in front of us
They
not too
were
long
here.
ago for a zoning,
Yes,
excuse me.
we said, we gave him favorable.
Yep. And clearly, it looks like it fits, so it's endorsable as submitted. Correct, Larry? Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pleasure of the board.
I'll vote, go ahead, John.
Motion by Lena, seconded by John for, to grant the 81P.
The 81P, yep.
Any other discussion? Hearing not. All in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Thanks, Dan.
Got another one.
I have a 40B review and report for Birch Street Place.
81P. He's got one more 81P. while he's here. It's not on the agenda.
Oh, okay, that's
It just came in
probably, I'm
today.
sorry.
Sorry about that.
We have what? Here's another one.
Yes, he does.
This is just dealing with the corner parcel on the Fruit Street, Ariana Estates subdivision to deal with the lot splits and the land transfers. That was part of that whole subdivision process. Thanks.
Thank you.
I've spoken with David Bertonazzi today, and they need to be able to identify these parcels outside of the whole subdivision process.
Okay, tell us what you're trying to do.
All right, currently, lot 294B consists of parcel C and D. And lot 239B consists of parcel A and
It looks like B and D.
B and D.
B and
Indeed,
B and D, correct?
yeah.
And that's A, 294 is A and C, okay.
Yes.
Where's C?
So,
Parcel C is the one with the single
And A is, okay,
family.
sorry. Yeah, I can't,
I know,
I can't see it either.
A, B.
Yep, I got it now.
So what is happening is parcel D is being split off of parcel C, being conveyed to parcel B. Parcel A is being cut off parcel B, or A, yeah, and going to parcel C.
How many?
Endorsable.
No, okay, that's fine. How many parcels do
Where-
you
where's
end up
C?
with?
Where's
C
C?
is that little.
show me where it is on the map, will you?
Okay.
Where the house is.
Where's, all
House,
right,
this is C,
yep, Oh, this is C.
That's B.
That's
No,
94B.
That's
Oh,
a-
parcel C. I
Parcel
see.
C.
Parcel C, okay.
Parcel D.
Parcel
So this
D.
is one lot currently.
Yep,
To make it clean for transfers.
Right,
This
okay.
parcel will be conveyed to this one,
okay.
and this one will go to this one.
And so what's the footage in all of this together? Is it 8,778?
I believe so,
That's-
yes.
That's all it
these
is?
two. No,
Just these two?
And then these two will be
These
the
two is
74.
74, okay. I just was curious, all right.
Endorsable as submitted.
Wow,
Say it again.
boy. Okay,
Pleasure of the board. A motion by John, seconded by Lena,
yep.
to sign on the 81P. Any further discussion here or not? All in favor, opposed, unanimous? Thank you. We have a 40B review and report for Birch Street Place. I'm going to recuse myself, so Kevin, I'm just going to say to you that knowing that the planning board doesn't really have a stake in this, I think you'll be fine. However, if you feel obligated to want to perhaps solicit better or more concise information from a full board,
Yeah,
then you're more than welcome to come back on June 5th, but I'll leave that entirely up to you. Again, I'm going to recuse myself, but,
would you
Yeah,
rather
I
have
just,
5 people instead of?
and again, ultimately, it's a zoning board.
It's just the two of us. I don't know
Well,
if
let me
we,
just explain what's happening.
Okay.
The zoning board's meeting tomorrow night, and they were expecting a report from the planning board. I've already given them my report, which you have in the
I
agenda.
saw it here, yeah.
So,
So actually, Larry, we actually met the ZBA last week. They had your report, they had Mike Dean's report, they had Cater and Howard's report.
Yep.
And we're actually scheduled to meet again on June 7th.
so we can,
So you guys should have a little bit of time, and I came tonight just to make sure you guys knew that it was the same plan that I had been in front of you guys with before, nothing's changed.
Right.
But obviously, I'll come back, whatever time you guys want me to, so it's fine. But I think it was pretty straightforward. Probably the only thing, though, just to get it out there while Larry's
Again,
here.
I don't look at the plan, I don't read it, I have nothing to do with the plan, I don't even look at it, so
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're doing, and I don't want to know.
The only thing that came up in the ZBA meeting, Larry, was the question on the egress through the fire station.
yeah, let's talk about that next time.
Okay.
Because it's not,
Okay.
yeah, you know.
You'd want a full board with everything, though, wouldn't you?
Okay. Well, I guess my other question, Larry, is what happens then? Sort of like town meeting, this board will give a recommendation to the ZBA, or how does that?
They'll just do a follow-up report similar to what my letter says.
Okay, all right.
It's more
40B,
procedural than
we
it
don't
is
have a lot of
anything.
input in 40Bs.
Again, it's more procedural than it is anything.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Well, I also wanted to come tonight to thank you guys, because obviously without our successful meeting last night maybe wouldn't have gone so well, so I really appreciate that, and
Congratulations.
I'm pretty
You're
excited
very
about it, so.
Yeah,
I will, I
I
will
heard they
just,
vote.
I will just say that apparently on some articles, some of them being Reno Deluzio's, they spent more time than they did on yours, so I guess to that point.
We did our
you know,
job, right?
Well, I think that, I think,
I was surprised, frankly, that yours went so fast.
I think the tide's changed. I think that, to be perfectly honest with you, again, you certainly had the benefit of an actual building
Right.
that you could suggest, this is what I want to do.
Right.
Every time we're talking pie in the sky.
Right.
I think the other thing, true transparency, is the selectmen being involved and not having any opposition certainly did well.
Yeah.
For you, but again, I honestly think that a lot of town meeting members and people in general, residents of Milford, really do want to see the downtown change. I think they want to see a breath of life, and I think that they want to see different things. I mean, you go to Franklin, I mean, granted, I know they have a college down there, but still, there's life, there's activity. And Milford years ago used to have life and activities. I mean,
Right.
not,
We'll hopefully have it once again, so.
again, I hate to sound like my parents, but I remember as a kid,
Well, that's it.
shopping down there and walking down there and,
I
and,
know,
and
I
doing
know.
everything. And again, I hate to sound like my parents because I was like, yeah, whatever, but it's, I never go downtown. There's no reason to unless I want to get stuck in traffic and look at windows. I mean, there's nothing to do. I can't say
Well,
that.
congratulations on the vote.
Yeah, thank you on that.
really.
So
We'll
when is
see
that,
you
when is this then?
June 5th.
June 5th,
Yep.
that's 2 days before,
That's
okay,
a
so I can be
Tuesday.
here for that night.
That's after Memorial Day.
And I'll be here pretty soon with something for East where now that we know our direction, we'll be in front of you guys hopefully shortly. Okay?
Great.
The only thing I'm gonna, and again, I don't wanna put the, and I have yet to see the plan, I'm certainly talking out, slightly out of school. I know that there's an easement in correlation to the church. I'm just gonna throw this out to you. Obviously, for a great many years, they've utilized that parking lot as if it was their own. Obviously, I know you have to produce or remain the easement, but me personally, I'm gonna tell you that I don't want you to, I want the easement defined, but I don't want you to be using it, you know, as an exit either, because I'm afraid that during certain events, your residents are gonna lose parking, and I don't wanna see that. And conversely, I'm not gonna, you know, the other thing that we all know, that the only time that Winter Street fully gets utilized, other than during masses, is from funerals too. So, you know, I'm gonna certainly be looking that, you know, we're gonna have defined entrances and exits, not like it is now. So I'm just gonna throw that out to you, only because you mentioned it, but I wanna be very clear that I'm not looking for you to change your plan 400 times, but we have to be mindful of, I guess, past practices.
Yep.
But we also have to be mindful that there's a new era too, and, you
And
know,
it's wide open right now.
it is, and we
And it
need
needs to be
to.
closed, there needs to be signs
Well,
or
he needs to have
whatever.
defined parking.
He's got to, because
'Cause if
your
not,
tenants are never, you know, people are just gonna,
I know.
This
I've
could
done-
be a short meeting.
well, anyway.
I'll see you guys.
All right, thanks.
We have an amended site plan review for 79 Prospect Street, Albert Souza.
Did you want me to read my report? Or
I-
you can read it?
I can do it, just give me 1 second. The applicant requests a special permit to conduct an automotive sales and repair business on the subject am I reading the wrong
Oh,
one?
no, this
Oh,
is,
I'm sorry.
this is a childcare center.
Oh, what did I skip over it?
Number 4.
I'm sorry. My
Number 4.
apologies. The applicant requests amended site plan approval to establish a child daycare on the subject property. This will be replacing an existing non-conforming hair salon located on the first floor. The existing use as a single-family residence will continue. The applicant proposes to add the sale and
Yeah, that's,
okay, no building additions will be proposed, and the paved area will be restriped. All applicable zoning and site plan requirements appear to be met, therefore Larry is recommending approval.
And I'll
I don't know who
change-
was worse at this.
I don't know, I'll change the thing
Go right ahead.
for tomorrow when you send it.
79 Prospect Street.
Dan Hazen from Gary on Halnon. I'm here representing Albert Souza. What we have is two buildings. It's a pre-existing non-conforming lot with what was a non-conforming use. There used to be a hairdresser on the first floor. There's a second
Years,
floor.
for
There's,
years.
an second floor living area. Both lots were owned by the same person. So, second floor has a sunroom off to the east here, and then a deck. This is overhanging the lot line. What we've done is an 81X plan showing an exclusive use area. Basically, it's elevated, it's on posts right now. Proposed use now for the first floor of the building shaded in red is a childcare center. And the second floor is gonna still remain a residence. The person that's buying, or that's gonna be running the daycare, will be living on the second floor. So, yeah, it's licensed to have 25 students and 3 employees, including the owner. What we've done is propose 6 parking spaces. Need 1 space for 5% of the students. Comes to 1.25 spaces, we rounded it up to 2. Need 2 spaces for the dwelling, and we need 2 spaces required for the employees. So where one of those spaces is, where we have 6 spaces, there's, one of them's counting almost twice. One for the residents, and since she's gonna be working at the same place as she's living, counted 1 space for the 2.
Because technically, what we just said, you should have seven.
Correct. A portion of the paved area right here is gonna be removed.
Let me ask you just a fundamental question. If you remove the shed,
That's not gonna help.
that's not gonna help you because you can't get past,
Correct.
1 and
Can't
2.
go around
All
it.
they need 6 spaces, and they've got 6. But where it's a single-family dwelling, we've counted stacked parking in those situations in the past for existing sites. So it'd comply as submitted, as an amended site plan. They don't need special permit approval.
No, no,
because
no, because it's already, yeah, no.
It's converting it back to all permitted uses.
I guess,
For daycare, they're gonna have to have a state come in and make sure everything is right, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not necessarily concerned about the use at all.
Okay.
The one thing that regrettably, I would have preferred to see specifically on Prospect Street is you're allowing the lot to remain open. And regrettably, you have to allow it to remain open rather than curbing and having a definitive drive entrance, if you will. But the way this is laid out, you can't. That's my only, with this, I would have preferred, but regrettably, you can't because you end up with maybe 3 spots if you're lucky, 4 at the most.
Pretty tight.
One item, are they really gonna sell cars?
No.
No, that was a,
Typo.
Typo?
That was supposed to have been deleted, but.
Whole paragraph
That
typo.
whole sentence was
Yeah,
supposed to have
he's-
been deleted.
yeah, forget about that. That's why I didn't read that part.
That's what I said.
Okay.
And in terms of the playground area, because this, you said, is a daycare, right?
Correct.
Where is the playground area?
That'll be the green area, shaded right here.
Because it says existing fence to be removed. Am I to conclude that you're putting in a new fence, number one? And my other fundamental question, I'm gonna go back to the shed, is I assume, being that a daycare, you're going to be required to have some sort of dumpster location, and I don't necessarily see it on the plan, nor do I necessarily see room for it unless you eliminate the shed.
Well, currently, the shed actually houses the above-ground oil tank.
I'm just looking at this, then you're
Yeah,
gonna
where
have
is-
to shift the parking of 1 and 2.
To put a dumpster.
You're gonna have to put a dumpster on this for,
Right.
Up by the shed, well, I don't know that you want the dumpster.
I,
Tank.
you wanna find another location for it? Like I said, if the green area
We
is to
could
be
fit-
playground, I'm assuming you gotta put a fence up, even though it says you gotta be removed, because I'd rather see, especially on 140.
Well, no, the fence that's being removed would be internal, cutting through the proposed playground area. So that's the one that's coming out. There's a new fence that's gonna totally enclose the playground area.
It is-
Okay, you're
it
right,
is shown.
ex-pave area to be fenced in with pave removed and replaced with play, okay,
Right, so that fence to be removed would cut right through the playground if it
okay,
were left.
all right.
So that, the old fence.
So I guess it would just, what I'm gonna need to, what I need to see is some sort of dumpster pad
Right.
Right.
location.
You could approve it subject
Yeah,
to
no, no,
that,
no.
And then Mike and I will figure out.
Again, I'm just speaking for myself. I don't, you're putting up a fence.
Right.
I don't have a problem with the use. I just, you're gonna need to show a dumpster is all I'm suggesting.
We could fit one right in front of the shed.
That's what I think you're gonna have to do and shift the 1 and 2 back towards the
Right.
street.
Correct.
Again, I'm assuming 1 and 2, or at least 1, is the operator who also lives there. So
Correct, yeah.
I'm assuming 2, if she's married, will be her husband. Again, I'm not gonna sit here and, try to figure that out, but that's what I'm assuming. Any questions from the board?
No.
No?
Pleasure of the board?
I'll move.
Motion made by Lena to amend the site plan, subject to the
Dumpster.
addition of showing the dumpster on site.
Right, yeah.
Seconded by John. Any further discussion? Hearing not. All in favor? Opposed? Unanimous.
Just bring them all in if I can sign it. Yeah, you get some of the other-
So,
We have a ZBA special permit for Al's Collision Center at 14 South Free Street. The applicant requests a special permit to conduct an automotive sales and repair business on the subject premises. ZBA Section 2.3 provides for such uses by zoning board of appeals special permit in the CB and CC zones. Because a sizable portion of the subject property is zoned RA, a special permit under ZBL Section 314 is required to change from one nonconforming use to another. It should be noted that the application is incomplete in the following aspects. The property owner has not signed the special permit application. There is no up-to-date sign plan accompanying the application. The site plan does not clearly identify the separate use on the property. Therefore, Larry is recommending the case be continued to allow the applicant to correct the deficiencies as noted above. The site plan will need to be submitted to the planning board subsequent to any approvals by the ZBA. If a special permit is granted, the planning board will determine the site plan review stage exactly how many unregistered vehicles the Santos Garage portion of the site can support after the required off-street parking for all the uses on the site is determined and located. This information, along with any ZBA special permit conditions, will be included in the report to the selectmen at the time of the Class 2 license permit. So let me just, hold on. What are we talking about anyhow? Yeah.
Well, that's part of the problem. They just submitted a site plan that was many years old, didn't determine who's on first, and I'm not sure they know. And the site
There's
plan
no-
was approved 10 years ago. So I think,
Nobody here?
nope, I think.
I
they can
move we
manage to
continue.
fix it.
A motion made by John to continue it to the next meeting, giving the applicant some additional time to submit the proper application, and I have a second on that from Lena.
I'll second that, yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing not. All in favor, opposed, unanimous. And finally, we have
Continue it
to June
Right.
5th.
to planning board?
Yes, June 5th, sorry. And finally, vote to oil. I know you're in front of us in terms of, based on what I read via email today from Larry,
Right.
because I don't know if you got lucky or unlucky, finding less ledge than you had assumed, therefore precipitating the need to build a structurally certified wall, which, by the way, looks very nice, and
I like the wall.
I do too, so.
I do.
As much as I'm sure this is a little more costly than you had hoped, it does aesthetically look a lot pleasing, much more pleasing.
What I
I
had
saw it online.
suggested to Mike, and I thought I
Wow,
extended emails that
that is beautiful.
they should continue with their process, and when they're done, bring in a plan, an as-built plan for the board.
I don't disagree with what you said, but I have to commend you because not too long ago,
Oh,
we had an applicant that
Well, I was
decided to
gonna say that.
change retaining walls.
We didn't change it, he just didn't build them.
Well, he built some retaining wall, if that's what you want to call them. Nonetheless, I do certainly appreciate that you came in
Oh,
here to show
absolutely.
us the change. Again, I know, and I'm going to give you a moment to speak in a minute. I know there was some back and forth. Mike can't be here. I didn't bring a copy of his email. Oh,
There's one of them.
thank you. His only general concern, and I don't know if you've had an opportunity, but I will read it just for those in the audience. Mike doesn't have a problem with the revision. However, he would like to see a full set of revised plans inclusive of the new information and design, which should also show the underlining or underdrain tying into the drainage system in a manner that will bypass the underground detention system, so tied into the D14, which is near the southern entrance of the site. They do not need the complete set at this time for tonight. They just need to follow up after the planning board's discussion tonight. I am comfortable and will be able to work out the specifics. The main thing is to make sure the planning board has no problem with the revised wall. So, thank you.
None
I have no
whatsoever.
problem with the revised wall.
But seeing that you weathered the storm, I don't want to cut you off. I think you already understand which direction we're going, but please, you're here.
We don't want to take too much of your time. It sounds like, this is great. Obviously, this is Dennis Stevens. He's from Stevens Marquee. He's our contractor on site, as
okay.
well as he's an engineer.
See the
So,
wall, man?
Thank you.
Yeah, the short story is basically, what we found on the site, instead of solid ledge, was Volkswagen-sized boulders, and that appeared to be ledge when we did our geotechnical. This, we think, is a better situation aesthetically,
more stable.
and also it'll fit with the soil conditions. So, to that extent, if you know, Dennis can talk, answer any questions.
No, I
But
think,
we did want to, you know, out of the respect to the board, we just wanted to make sure that you guys were included in this. I know this was a big issue during our initial application, so we just, you know, wanted to make sure. And I think Mike Dean wanted us to
Again,
run
that-
it through you.
and I saw
On that one.
what Larry had sent to us, which was stamped. Again, I personally don't have any problems with it. I appreciate you came in. I think, again, I'm sure it's not, you know, I'm sure there's a much increased cost with this, but to your point, I think aesthetically, this is much more pleasing
Yes.
than,
It is really.
than the initial, so.
Oh,
Exactly.
it
And,
certainly
you know,
is.
And I think it, you know,
I mean,
I think the durability factor, so.
I like the
don't have-
landscaping.
Yeah.
The landscaping is very pretty, you know, or very nice.
You know, obviously,
I
they
like it.
haven't built the wall yet.
I know that.
This is just
I
a
know that.
rendition of what
But
they.
I like
Yeah,
the way
that's-
it's landscaped.
That's
yeah.
pretty, no, I don't want to give the wrong impression.
Oh,
When you
okay.
start, because if you drive by, they don't see a flower or something, I don't want you to start yelling.
No, I know they have, I know they haven't built the wall yet.
We'll check up on it.
No, but again, I
Yeah.
certainly appreciate that you came
That's
in
a
and
good
asked
point.
before you
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
did a free-for-all. So, with that said, I will take a formal motion, if that's okay with you,
That's fine.
What?
to allow the change and.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
to accept the certified block wall.
Absolutely.
In replacement of what they had initially put on the site plan.
I'll move.
Motion by John, seconded by
Like-
Lena. Any further discussion here or not? All in favor, opposed, unanimous. Again, you're just gonna have to do some follow-up with Mike Dean, obviously.
Yes.
And when you're with the as-built, obviously, that's when we'll officially sign it, so to speak. But, yeah, looks perfect.
I didn't say anything.
You still get to
Times
build.
less is more.
Billable hours though, right?
Well, on this one, it was nice because we had some lead time
Yeah.
in terms of being able to digest and understand what it was that
One
you were doing.
respect for the engineers who designed the initial wall, the soil nail wall. When you're working with a hill like that, and you're digging it down, and
Right.
you can't dig back far enough to put in a support structure for a wall, you're working with just a sheer face, and as you come down that face, you then drive the soil nail walls into it, and you shotcrete it with concrete like you would a popcorn ceiling,
Yeah,
okay?
oh, wow.
And that's kind of the finished texture you get. And so as you dig down, we're lowering the site 22 feet back there. You have retained the wall. You have a retainage
Yeah.
system in place. And then you come back after the soil nail wall guy is done, and you tie rebar to I call them the Frankenstein stubs sticking out of the wall.
They do it on 128 all the time in
And
Waltham.
then
Hey, you're
and
right,
then you
Pat.
shoot it with 6 inches of concrete.
You're right, Pat.
So the finished look is very
Yeah.
non-distinct, but in our situation, where we were excavating and had the boulders, there's no way we would have gotten a smooth
No.
face wall with hauling out humongous boulders and different things. Plus, we found out that it's a very hard glacial till, and it's a Class A soil that retains itself practically with a slight slope. So we found it was very feasible to go in here and put in a ready rock wall, okay, which is
Right.
what you see in this, it's a beautiful wall, so.
Yes.
It is
Oh,
really a
it is.
beautiful wall.
Do you need, we did prepare plans. I don't know, does anyone want their own small set of plans, or we have some extras if you want it? If not, then
Yeah,
don't,
if you
we'll
want to, if you want to leave one,
leave one for
Leave
you.
one
I
for
think if nothing else, the town engineer will
Larry,
probably
Larry probably would like one, yeah.
want to take a review at it, so that's perfect. What I'll do is here, just
What
put
is
his,
this?
Oh, this is the same thing that's in the,
That's Labrador Estates, all right.
same thing in the.
I like this picture.
we'll just do it like this.
Yeah.
You have the full set?
I can give this away, right?
Yes, and one for Mike Dean.
Oh,
You have
one
a
for Mike.
Full size for the planning board, one for Mike Dean, or do you just
Well-
want one?
Larry
We
will
are
take,
the planning board.
yeah.
Larry will
Just
take
give
it
us
for the
both copies,
planning,
please.
and Mike. He'll give it to Mike, and then we'll work it.
Yep.
Perfect.
Their
Great.
offices are separated by a wall, but it's the same department.
yeah, I have to call in if you want.
Same phone number. All right, I'll take a motion.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go Celtics.
Yep. Motion to adjourn from Lena, seconded by John. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, opposed?
Good night,
Unanimous.
everyone.
Have a good night.